same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
I found the place to shop Black Friday, Kohl's. I earned Kohl's Cash on everything I bought. Got 15% off and save big with their early access deals like sweats for under $10, a throw blanket for just $8.49, and boots for $16.99. Did I mention these deals are for a limited time? Don't wait. Get more gifts and more savings at Kohl's. Select styles. Deals valid through November 10th. 15% offer valid through November 10th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
From the Ingles studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Doug Brown. The Attorney General in Washington, D.C. files a civil lawsuit against the Commanders and the NFL. Carl Racine is accusing them of colluding to deceive fans about the league's investigation of the team's toxic workplace. Team owner Daniel Snyder and Commissioner Roger Goodell are also named in that suit. No practice again today for Bills quarterback Josh Allen with a right elbow injury. ESPN's Rob Ninkovich says the Bills need to be cautious.
He has an ulnar collateral ligament sprain. And when you say sprain, there could be maybe a little bit of tear there. There could be something that we don't know about. But also with an ulnar collateral injury comes some nerve issues, maybe gripping, maybe some fingertip numbness.
Rob Ninkovich on Get Up. Nike co-founder Phil Knight tells CNBC he doubts the company will stay in business with Nets guard Kyrie Irving. Nike suspended its relationship with Irving last week and canceled plans to release a new shoe after Irving used social media to promote an anti-Semitic book and movie.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy. Heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, coming to you live from the Ingles studio. And don't forget, you can see our faces as well on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat.
You can see that I'm embracing my inner Elsa. Let it flow, let it flow.
He's got the mullet flying. He's ready for Thursday night football.
Day. I look like a mangy trash person, and I'm just all about it. We're going to have a gross Thursday night football game. I want it to look as gross as humanly possible.
Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons tonight on Thursday night football. Our very own Kevin Vick, member of the House of Reprehensibles, and, of course, the lovely spouse of Brandy, who works in our front office. Headed
down to sit in the rain.
He and the kid are going down to sit in the rain and watch the Carolina Panthers do stuff. Because, I think I've seen 5 articles today from various entities around the sports world saying, Carolina Panthers, just embrace the suck.
Just be bad.
Just the number one goal tonight on Thursday night football needs to be LOSE, lose.
Hey, maybe throw Johnny Hecker back there. We've seen him throw passes. We've never seen him do it under center. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's get a punter playing quarterback. Maybe a linebacker at running back.
Speaking of quarterbacks, there's a lot of talk about quarterbacks around the NFL, especially one in particular that had, one of the best fantasy weeks of any quarterback around the league this season, this past week. Justin Fields. Justin Fields.
Oh.
He's finally won over some of the analysts around the league, and he's ranked way too high on this week's quarterback power ranking. So that sparked us. We need to do our own.
We need to put a little common sense into these here proceedings, because some of you have gone kooky madookie.
That's right. That's right. So we will talk about that on the program as well. It's time for the opening drive.
Always helps when you do it right. Technology buttons.
Yeah. There
it is.
Opening drive always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, 629 Brevard Road. Don't forget, you're going to do business with Fred Anderson Nissan. You need to let them know who sent you. Tell them the Sportsocracy sent you, and they will give you a $250 bonus on top of whatever your trade-in is worth.
Tell them little old man and mullet sent you. They'll give you $250 extra dollars on your trade. 629 Brevard Road. They've got me in a fully loaded Altima that has every toy you could possibly want. I actually listened to our show from yesterday with my Android Auto because Nissan went, half of you are not iPhone people, like me. So now they have the all-inclusive everything that you would get with an iPhone with an Android.
Nice.
629 Brevard Road, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Old man, what is this old man business?
Well, because every 5 pounds you lose, you look a year older.
Oh, this is true.
I actually think you could go to the Social Security office right now and they'd go, get this man a cane and a check. Let's go.
Wow.
Walter over here he is long overdue for a payment.
Just full on throwing the shade at the beginning of the program here. I mean, I am a man. I am 40, but little old man? Come on. Break here. We got Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, going to join us at the top of the 4 o'clock hour, as he does each and every Thursday. We'll talk about the start of the basketball season, as well as the Tar Heels continuing to rise in the rankings of the college football playoff. 8-1 now in ACC play. They will sew up the Coastal Division with a win this week against Wake Forest. So we'll talk to Jones about all going on there in Chapel Hill. We got quarterback ranking coming your way at the back half of this hour. And, of course, we'll have your Thursday night preview and all of Jeremy's best bets for the night.
Well, I mean, it can't possibly go any worse than last night did. Maction, 2 years, just hammers every night until last night.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can't win them all. You can't win them all, and last night, Jeremy went a big goose egg for 3.
Yeah, last night was a car wreck, and 2 of them were far out of reach of attaining the number before you even really got cushy and got your butt into your butt groove. Those are bad nights.
In your butt groove.
Before you get in the butt groove, I'm on the wrong side of this. Can we live bet this the other way? Because I am wrong.
Just a programming note as well. We will be going off today at 5:30. 5:26 is actually when we're going to hit that final break so we can get Cowboy John Roten and the Tuscola broadcast crew in here for the Tuscola High School football playoff game tonight, second round of the playoffs, and they are on the road against East Lincolnton in Denver, North Carolina. So they will be taking over the air here on ESPN Asheville at 5:30 for tonight's matchup because a couple of the high schools moved their games up to Thursday to avoid the Tropical Storm Nicole remnants that's supposed to be moving through the area tomorrow.
They never asked me to do those games. Like, Jeremy, why don't you go, like, guest play-by-play?
I mean, do you really want to go to Denver, North Carolina?
Oh, by absolutely no means,
Didn't think so. That's why you've never been asked.
No, Cowboy John Roten, he's got that on lock.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he said, we don't have a place in the press box, so I'm going to be calling this from under a tent, I went, And Seacrest out. I don't do anything that involves a tent.
Yeah, but John's a gamer, and he's there for all your Tuscola football coverage each and every week. So second round of the playoffs tonight, 5:30 airtime here on ESPN Asheville. We will have the Buncombe County High School football game of the week coming up for you tomorrow night after this here program. We'll have the Reynolds Rockets taking on Julius Chambers High School, formerly known as Vance High School. So there was a big announcement today.
Ish.
I mean, this was teased yesterday. The Attorney General in the District of Columbia says he's got a huge announcement to make on Thursday.
It's a fraud case against Washington.
And we're all waiting to hear what it's all about. And they came out and said, yeah, we're suing the Washington Commanders football team for misleading the public. Yeah, they are filing a lawsuit against the Commanders, the NFL, team owner Daniel Snyder, and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell for covering up the investigation of the workplace culture, the sexual misconduct allegations, all of that. And basically says that the league and the team has been lying about the investigation, therefore misleading the consumers of the Washington, D.C. area, and they are going to be suing. Yay.
My reaction to this and yours were vehemently different. Because when I read this, I went, oh, yeah, John Gotti went down for tax evasion. Sometimes you get somebody where you can.
Mm-hmm.
And now you call me conspiracy theory guy all you want to. I'm reading the tea leaves. This is his tax evasion. Because what you said to me was every instance of this is a $5,000 fine.
Yes.
You do realize that could go all the way down to every shirt that was bought, right?
It could.
You can go real deep into this if you so choose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this strikes me as. This strikes me as the federal government is tired of Daniel Snyder. We haven't been able to get you for any of these things that we know damn well you did. I can get you for this.
Well, this isn't the federal government. This is the
government. For me, it's all federal government.
Okay. I was going to say, but it's weird because it's in D.C., so you would think federal government. No, this is not the federal government. This is the District of Columbia workings.
You're talking to the guy that doesn't believe birds are real. For me, all government. Okay.
I got you. So anyway, Carl A. Racine, the Attorney General of the District of Columbia, they have filed a lawsuit against the team saying that basically they told all of the consumers that things were being taken care of, the culture was changing, we're taking steps, we're being investigated, and all of that is a lie, according to the Attorney General.
The bigger element of this to me was you now have no allies. Daniel Snyder has nothing left. And at some point, I said this last week and I'm going to say it again. At some point, when you go to battle, you can keep fighting, but at some point you have to look around and go, where'd everybody go? It's just me all by my little lonesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot help but think that before this year is over, you will see there is an agreement in place for Mr. Amazon himself to come in and buy this team.
Mm-hmm. And some of you may be out there asking, but why wouldn't the Attorney General take any action on the actual alleged crimes within the organization? Well, it's because it's not in his jurisdiction. They can't do anything about the sexual assault allegations or, anything related to the actual cases because those didn't take place in D.C. And that's why the football team is now taking this as this is just grandstanding on the local Attorney General.
I don't know that I've ever seen a more inept franchise than whoever is putting out press releases for the Washington Commanders. When the agent of a player has to come out and go, you're not using my guy.
It's in poor taste. It's in absolute poor taste. When the Commanders made a statement about this big reveal, they said, basically, what is the Attorney General of D.C. doing suing us or coming out with this, this ambiguous big announcement thing when 3 months ago we had a player who was shot multiple times in a carjacking, and he can't keep the streets safe in D.C. Why is he bothering with us? And the agent for Brian Robinson went, you can't use my guy, because they didn't ask.
No, and if they did, it would have been an immediate nope.
Right.
I mean, you're just alienating yourself all over the world. And that was one of the things that I always said. Daniel Snyder had enough money and he had enough power that I didn't know that everyone would turn on him. Everyone has turned on him. And now you've got the NFL into a legal battle here. Do I think it's a huge deal to them? No. But this strikes me as, this is RICO. This is, we're going to try to use the one thing we can get you on to tie you into everything else. And we're going to leverage you into doing what we want.
Well, this is just another angle. This is another angle of what he's fighting. This new lawsuit, while it's probably not, it's not the groundbreaking announcement that we were expecting. I mean, because I was fully expecting something criminal. This is not like a criminal thing that can be punished by jail time and all of that.
It's fraud, which can get much deeper.
Of course it can. I mean, the ramifications of this can still be very, very serious.
This struck me as a shot across the bow. This is what we have enough to get you on right now. And when we get you on this, we will keep going until you do what we want you to do. But, I mean, this is an eyesore on D.C. as well. I guarantee you the people in power in that area are sitting back going, we'll build a stadium for anybody else. We don't care who it is. We'll agree to whatever you want. We'll get behind whatever initiative it is you have, as long as you're not that guy. Because this should be a cash cow, and it's an embarrassment, and we need you to go away.
Absolutely. And Daniel Snyder, I feel like, has seen the writing on the wall. That's why they went out and reached out to Bank of America to help them with what were the words used, any possible transaction involving the football team. Been cagey about selling. Is it a minority stake that they're looking to sell? Is it the whole team? He knows. He knows that he's done. And he can't get anything done to improve this team because he's made enemies at every stage. Every step. So you got to do what's best for business, and what's best for business is for Daniel Snyder to get out of the football game. And that'll be fine. We could turn it all over to Jeff Bezos and Matthew McConaughey and Jay-Z. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. Justin Fields' fever is taking over the NFL. That's up next.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A's locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
There was a time where Justin Fields was widely mocked by everyone
and it will
in the
return.
NFL. But now, apparently, after, he's had some decent games, I guess, in the last few weeks. But this past week was just incredible. Setting the record for the, most rushing yards in a single game by a quarterback in regular season of the NFL. Now it seems like the tide has turned, and now Justin Fields is becoming the flavor of the month in the NFL. To the point where this week's quarterback power ranking from NFL.com's Mark Sessler has Justin Fields as a top 10 quarterback in this league.
That's the stupidest thing that has ever been said in the history of print media. Because if you actually mean that, you should not work in this industry. That is insane. You do realize he's completed 110 passes in 9 full games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how good at math you are. That averages out to 12 a week.
Yep. 9 games this year. He has 1,300 passing yards, 10 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. But it's the rushing yards that, of course, I guess gives him, obviously, fantasy value, but everybody's looking at it. Like, even Dan Campbell. Now, I get talking up your opponent. Like, you want to talk to the media, and they're like, what are you looking for this week? Well, Justin Fields is a tough quarterback to face, blah, 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 blah.
You know what we're looking for? Him to run. We're looking for him to run, and he's going to do it a lot. You know why? Because he can't throw.
Dan Campbell, speaking to the media, said that he is like 3 quarterbacks all wrapped up into one.
That's a weird way of saying a running back, but okay.
He said, I feel like you're watching a little bit of Deshaun Watson in Houston. You're watching Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. There's a little bit of Jalen Hurts in there as well.
He left out the backside. There's a little bit of Ryan Leaf. There's a whole lot of Akili Smith because that's who I see. It's who I've always seen. I do not. There are 2 narratives here, and I can't figure out which one it is. This is either the fantasy footballification of the NFL, where we care more about our fantasy teams than we do about our real life team. So the fact he scored 45 points for your fantasy team, that means he's good. No, it doesn't. Or, and I value this to be much more likely, we watch the games of our team. We watch the broadcast games, and we watch the highlights of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched a considerable amount of last week live, and I've watched it all back. Do you know how many high-level throws he had in that entire game?
3.
And it was the best game he's ever had, and it's not even close.
Mm-hmm. 61-yard pass. That was the big one of the day for Justin Fields against the Miami Dolphins. That's the other thing. Like, I mean, if he'd have done it against a top defense in the league.
No, he did it against a slow defense that has struggled with running quarterbacks. Do you remember what Lamar Jackson did to them through 3 quarters?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Do you remember what the Jets did to this defense? By any chance? Because I do. I remember it quite well. I've always laughed at the Dolphin fans. What if we'd have had Tua? Does he play linebacker? Because if he doesn't, I really feel like you're going to struggle to beat that Jets team.
Right.
But now it's just gone completely lunatic. And I got news for you. It's not going to get better this week.
I heard Colin Cowherd today. I respect Colin.
As do I.
But I heard Colin Cowherd today talking about the prospects, I think it was for the Carolina Panthers, in this upcoming draft. And
I don't like where this is headed.
And that this draft, it may not have the no doubt superstar quarterback like past classes have had with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields.
Stop.
And I went, stop it, Colin. This is insanity.
Okay, just for posterity's sake, Justin Fields would have been the first quarterback taken in the last draft class. Barely. That's where he was as a prospect. That's where he still is. You're getting duped here. Do you realize that he's thrown for over 200 yards 2 times in his career? 200 yards! Pat Mahomes did that in 4 drives not long ago.
Right.
So did Josh Allen. If you watch this and go, that's a high-level prospect, you don't know what you're watching. But that thing you said about Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. Here's the problem. You don't have A.J. Brown. Here's the other problem. You don't have a good offensive line. If you switched places, Jalen Hurts would go through the floor, and Justin Fields would rise a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're 2 years in, and you're 2 years away from paying him. And he is going to regress aggressively. He does what mediocre quarterbacks do. He beats up on bad defenses. And he'll do it again this week against the Detroit Lions. Probably do it 2 weeks from now against the Atlanta Falcons. And then you play at the Jets, Green Bay, Philadelphia, Buffalo. And you will very quickly see this guy's not any good. He can run. Great. There are about 5,000 people in this life that can run really, really fast. They don't play quarterback in the NFL. Because when push comes to shove and you get down, you have to be able to make a throw, and he can't.
Mm-hmm.
I compared this to the Wildcat. That worked for about 3 weeks.
Right.
Then you got enough tape on it to go, here are its deficiencies. And it was dead. And Miami tried to throw Pat White at it and bring in 6th offensive linemen and do all of these things to mitigate the fact they had a mediocre quarterback. And guess what? You were still terrible. Well, Justin Fields is so dynamic. You do realize you have 3 wins, right? You get that. I mean, I don't know why this is lost on so many people. You've won 3 games. One was in a monsoon. One was against the worst team in the NFL. And then there was one in New England that I can't really explain.
That's the hard one to explain.
That's the one I don't get it, and I still don't get it.
Because Chicago went into Foxborough and dusted the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm. Slow defense, A.
Mm-hmm.
I can explain that part of it. It's but how could you not score? I don't understand that.
Which got me to thinking, we know we all know, right? All of us here in the Democratic Republic of Sports, we know Justin Fields is not a top 10 quarterback in this league. But with the quote-unquote improvement he's shown so far this year, where does he rank? We'll do it up next right here on ESPN Asheville. First, let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
I never begrudge any athlete their money. And I don't I don't care what you spend your money on. I mean, as long as you're not doing crimes, I don't care. Kirk Cousins has made his latest purchase.
Is it more gold chains?
It's not more gold chains.
Is it more glasses?
I think it's flashier than that. Because how many quarterbacks in the history of the game, I mean, you got fancy cars, you got fancy houses, you got fancy jewelry, as Jeremy mentioned, but how many can boast, I own a golf course? Kirk Cousins has bought a golf course in Michigan in their in he and his wife's community of Saugatuck. It's apparently a golf course that's been around since the 1930s. They're friends with the current owners, or the former owners of the golf course. That the owners getting older, they're gonna have to get rid of it at some point. And Kirk Cousins and his wife stepped up and said, hey, we love this golf course. We love this community. We want to invest in it. We want to make sure that this doesn't turn into, some kind of a condominium development at some point in the near future. So they bought the golf course. And now he's going to make all the improvements to it. Talking about burying power lines and updating the facilities. And I feel like that's a hell of an investment for a quarterback to make. Anybody.
I've always said I don't understand why more guys don't do it. Golf courses print money.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do it right. Now, if you do it wrong, it can go very badly.
Saugatuck's Clearbrook Golf Course is now owned by Kirk Cousins. As long as he doesn't go and play in prime time, I'm sure his game will not suffer.
Absolutely. If you watched midweek Maction last night, or you're just a follower of the show, you know it's something we're really fond of. The MAC figured out several years ago, starting in November, we're just going to play our games on Tuesdays. Now, if we play on Saturdays, nobody watches us, so we'll play on Tuesday. Well, now they're not the only one. Conference USA has signed a deal with CBS Sports and ESPN to start doing the exact same thing, and they're going to do it in October.
Oh, wow.
So now the mishmash that is Conference USA, can you name a team in Conference USA currently?
No. I mean, not off the top of my head, because I keep thinking like Memphis, and they're in the American. ECU used to be in it, but they're in the American. Tulane, I think, used to be in it, but they're
in the American.
Oh, yeah, in the American. So, I have no idea who's in Conference USA anymore.
Now it's a lot of the North Texas Mean Green, the Rice Owls, the Charlotte 49ers, and boop, boop, the UTSA Roadrunners, who are currently leading the conference. Well, next year, they're adding 4 more teams. The Liberty Flames, Jacksonville State, New Mexico State, and Sam Houston State. Kennesaw State will join in 2024.
Kennesaw State.
I didn't tell you it was good football. I just said it was football, and it's something you could wager on. And next year, it happens on Tuesdays.
Awesome.
And
Absolutely
I'm here for it. I think this is brilliant.
Absolutely.
Go get your product put out in front of people. Because you know what I did last night? I threw on a little episode of The Sopranos. Almost through that show. Phenomenal, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as that episode was over, I went, hey, Maction. It's the only way I'm watching the Buffalo Bulls. Don't try to contend on Saturday.
Mm-mm.
That's big boy day. You take these Tuesdays where we have nothing to watch, we will watch it. I've seen me do it.
Yeah. We've got to come up with a catchy name for it, though, now.
Let's see. The Battle of America, Conference USA. Da, na, 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 na.
I don't know. That seems too close to the American Conference. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't have USA in the name.
We have Maction. Now we got to come up with something snappy for Conference USA football.
I have no less than 4 that come to my mind, but I can't say them on this show.
Yeah.
Need something a little PC.
That's true. You got to get something with a little wide appeal. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll rank the quarterbacks in the NFL coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Flood watch and wind advisory up for Asheville as what's left of Nicole comes up to western North Carolina tonight and Friday. Could see some 1.5 inch downpours, the potential for some higher wind gusts here. 57 degrees our low for tonight. The wind strongest early Friday morning. 1 inch of rain Friday, high 67, low 49, and we clear things out from Nicole for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by News Nation. Chris Cuomo is back with a new show on a new network. Catch Cuomo weeknights on News Nation at 8 p.m. Eastern. To find News Nation on your television provider, go to newsnationnow.com/join us.
Listen to your favorite radio stations and music from any genre. Listen to what you want, where you want, when you want it, all free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Chronic joint pain has a snowball effect. It's not just the pain.
What that did is just make me depressed that I couldn't get back into the gym, and I was inactive, gaining weight. I had to find another alternative.
And for Chad, that alternative was QC Kinetics and the non-surgical natural biologic treatments that can give lasting relief to aching hips, shoulders, knees, and backs.
Once they explained it, it made sense. Putting what we have inside our body back into us in a certain strategic way to heal up in a natural process was fantastic.
QC Kinetics treatments take place right in the office. No downtime, no surgery. And as for the outcome,
I'm just back to bouncing around, having fun, doing my work, living pain-free.
Don't let chronic joint pain rob you of your quality of life. Discover advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. Call now to learn more. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It's ESPN Asheville, and with Justin Fields fever taking over the NFL, we decided we got to do our own power ranking of starting quarterbacks in the NFL because Justin Fields does not belong in a top 10 list.
No.
I mean, I get that he is the 11th best rusher of the football in the league right now, yardage-wise, but I mean, how much does that hold sway in a quarterback conversation?
Very little for me.
As it does for me as well. But as we do with all power rankings, we start from the bottom.
32 is whoever plays for Indianapolis.
Well,
I don't care who it is. Sam Ehlinger, Matt Ryan, Frank Reich. I don't care who the quarterback. Whoever puts on a horseshoe, they're 32.
I actually think they would be better if Frank Reich was the quarterback.
100%. 100% they would be.
Sam Ehlinger's horrible.
And 31 is whoever plays for the Carolina Panthers. Baker, PJ, Sam Darnold. I don't care.
Really?
Absolutely.
That's a lot. That's a lot of shade.
They're bad.
Okay.
Do you disagree with anything I just said?
Well, I mean,
if it's bad ones, don't worry. The really, really bad are coming in very short order.
No, and I was just thinking, like, who do you have as your starter for the Tennessee Titans?
Ryan Tannehill.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if Malik Willis is qualifying for this, I think he should be 31.
My answer is all things considered. If you had your choice of the best quarterback on your roster, Andy and Carolina, I don't know who your answer is. Because Matt Ryan, I think, could play right now, but you're still playing Sam Ehlinger. Baker Mayfield, I know, could play right now, but you're still playing P.J. Walker.
Okay.
And I feel like Sam Darnold is coming in short order. So if you don't know who the best quarterback on your team is, they probably are in the 30s.
Number 30.
Davis Mills. Without a doubt. And the only reason that I put him above the other two is because they know he's the best quarterback on their roster. He's still awful.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely awful. So awful, in fact, that Brandon Cooks just went, peace, I'm done.
I don't want to do this anymore. I have to wash my hair.
Tried to get a trade out of town, couldn't do it, and then went, oh, guess what? Hurt. Can't play.
Oh, knee, dead, home.
New phone. Who it is?
28, or 29, excuse me. Andy Dalton. 28, Kenny Pickett. You stop me when you have a problem.
Okay.
Marcus Mariota at 27.
Okay.
Zach Wilson at 26.
Nope. They don't have a problem yet.
Mac Jones at 25, Jared Goff at 24, Jacoby Brissett at 23, Taylor Heineke at 22, and then that's where Justin Fields shows up at 21.
21. I don't have a problem with any of that.
I didn't either. For me, this was super easy. You asked me to do this, it took me about 6 minutes to do the list.
Right. Justin Fields slots in at number 21, just above Jared Goff.
Because all of them are limited. The one thing Justin Fields has over every guy beneath him, I can at least scheme you for now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that's going to dissolve when people figure out, put that safety in the box because he's not going to do anything to hurt you. I promise. The New York Jets are going to, because they're the first one in the line. They're the ones that are going to show you, this is how you defend this. Because Jordan Whitehead couldn't cover a Tupperware bowl with cellophane. But here's what he can do. He can really make you regret running at him.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time that he gets James Skalski'd, I would wager you're probably going to see that happen less and less and less.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing that Whitehead's really good at, just dropping the hammer.
Now, he's done it many times this year.
Mm-hmm.
I have said bad words right before his name a bunch this year. And usually within a quarter, he tries to kill someone, and I go, okay.
Yeah.
I just got to know what it is that you do.
Right. I mean, he's a liability in coverage, but he is very, very physical.
He can lay the absolute hammer if you decide to run at him.
Yep. So Justin Fields, last week was fun.
It was cute.
This week's going to be fun against that god-awful Detroit Lions defense. And then maybe the Falcons as well.
I don't know. I can't figure out how that's going to go. I can tell you once you start playing the elite defenses, playtime's over.
Yeah, because you got 3 of those coming up on that schedule.
And the one that's not elite is the Green Bay Packers, who are going to start a run after they beat the Dallas Cowboys this week. Wait till I tell you the betting trends on that tomorrow.
Oh, should be fun.
This is one of those times, I don't often say this. I can't tell you why it's happening, but I can tell you every passing day, I'm getting cheesier and cheesier.
Okay.
There's a number on that game that might be the most baffling statistic I've ever heard.
And, of course, you want to tune in right here to ESPN Asheville and on YouTube for the bangers tomorrow for the entire week. And, of course, we'll play Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief David Zach, where we pick each and every game in the NFL by the spread. So Justin Fields at number 21. Who's next?
20 and 19, Daniel Jones, Ryan Tannehill. Because I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I feel the exact same way about the two of them that I do Justin Fields. I can scheme them to competence.
Okay.
I can't scheme them to good. Nothing I do makes them good. They can be
efficient,
serviceable.
Right.
I don't even know if I can say efficient with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones does the same thing that a table could do, which is hold a football and let Saquon Barkley come get it. Not much else there. And when things just go to Pandalarium, he can run away. And hopefully he doesn't fumble because he absolutely loves doing that.
Okay. Number 18.
This one was a bit of a struggle for me because I can't believe I have him this low. But it's Trevor Lawrence. This is where you start getting into, okay, I've seen legitimate talent out of you. I don't see it very often. It doesn't happen routinely.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really, really would like for it to.
I mean, he's very Daniel Jonesy, Carson Wentzy when it comes to ball security. Trevor doesn't have a lot of that going on. I mean, he's already got 10 turnovers on this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. We keep waiting for him to take the step, and I think it'll come in time. By no means is this a give up on the number one pick situation.
No, I mean, he's still got very obvious talent. It just doesn't happen nearly enough.
17.
Jimmy Garoppolo. He is the 3 cheese chicken penne.
Mm-hmm.
You will
average.
never go to a restaurant because of it, and you'll never leave when you eat it. It's fine. It will keep you alive. Other than that, it doesn't do a whole lot. It's just there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is exactly how I feel about number 16. And this name's going to sound weird when I say it. It's Dak Prescott.
That feels terribly low for Dak Prescott.
It's not. I tried everything I could do to push him any higher, and I couldn't get him there. You are just a dude. I feel like one has a much bigger name, but the further you break the two of them down, the more similar they start to look. They do things differently, but the end result tends to be pretty much the same.
No, when you compare the efficiency numbers and all of that, they're basically the same.
They're very, very similar, which kind of shocked me when we got into this.
Mm-hmm. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll take a break to the top half of the league quarterback rankings here for Week 10 in the NFL.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
You might not know this, but the Ingles Bakery is actually a bakery. As in, we bake things. Really delicious things. Things like crusty breads just waiting for that scrumptious strawberry jam. Apple fritters to pair perfectly with that morning cup of coffee. Cakes for any occasion, customized to your precise standards. And did we mention the cookies? It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The dark web can be like a restaurant for identity thieves.
Hi, ready to order?
I'll have the driver's license number.
Great, that comes with a home address or a birth date.
Ooh, both, please.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
It's Pro Time, which means at Lowe's, you're invited to enjoy a Lowe's Pro Happy Hour. Kick back with free Pepsi Cola drinks and Frito-Lay snacks. Plus, earn 3 times bonus points per dollar on purchases of select Pepsi products. Come into Lowe's and get the full MVP treatment at Pro Happy Hour on November 17th from 2 to 5 p.m. While supplies last. Bonus points offer valid 10/27 through 12/8. Calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. See Lowes.com/L/Pro Loyalty Terms.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
Cullowhee is the place to be on Saturday, November 19th, as WCU football takes on Chattanooga. Come cheer on the Catamounts and second-year coach Kerwin Bell as the Catamounts take on the Mocs. Advanced ticket sales start at just $16 for adults and $11 for kids. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. at Whitmire Stadium on the beautiful campus of Western Carolina University. For tickets, visit catamountsports.com or call 800-34-GO-WCU. Go Cats!
It's week 2 of the high school football playoffs on the Buncombe County Game of the Week, and AC Reynolds will be hosting Chambers. This will be a tough game for the Rockets, as Chambers has been a state title contender for the last 4 years. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show starts at 7 on ESPN 1400 and 92.9 FM. Tuscola Mountaineers hit the road, and they'll be going to East Lincoln. This game has been moved up to Thursday night due to the weather. Pre-game starts at 7 with a kick at 7:30. The best high school football coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy coming to you from the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville. Quarterback power rankings for Week 10. We're up to the top half of the league. And number 16.
It's the same guy that I just said. It's Geno Smith.
Geno
I mean, there are
Smith.
people that have him in the top 5. Stop that. I've seen him ahead of Joe Burrow. Stop that. He is doing a great job of doing what he is asked to do.
Mm-hmm. Still completing 73% of his passes on the year. Multiple touchdown games for quarterbacks across the league. Nobody has more than Geno Smith. He's turned in 7 of those this year.
He's very good. He's very efficient.
But that's why he gets ranked so highly.
And at the end of the day, let them get behind, and you will see where you're at. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
He's not elite. He's good.
Now. He's good now.
I think he's fine. In this system, I think Geno can be fine.
I still feel like there's a point coming where we're going to go, oh, that's the Geno Smith we all know.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he's going to have one of those. Oh, Geno Smith.
Right.
I remember that guy. He used to be terrible for the Jets. That's coming. And I feel like he's very similar to the guy at 14, Matthew Stafford. You're a product of the environment. He can dump off to Cooper Kupp very well.
Mm-hmm. Can't do much else.
No.
And the season's not going well for him or his team.
Then it gets into, I think these guys are legitimate talents, but you currently have a great big piddle in your punch bowl.
Derek Carr.
He's
number 13.
He's number 13.
Absolutely.
Your offensive line is awful. I keep hearing the Raiders could take a quarterback in the top 5. Stop that. I could list 7 needs that are bigger for the Las Vegas Raiders right now than quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand how you can look at what's been going on with that team and go, yeah, this is Derek Carr's fault.
Well, I mean, you had 43 snaps between Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Derek Carr, and Darren Waller. That's what they will have played on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Renfrow and Waller both to IR today.
Yes, that's what I was getting ready to say. Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow both being put on the IR, which means they won't be back for the next 4 games. So, could have a few more of these bad Raider weeks coming up. At 12.
Russell Wilson. I believe he is just a little bit better than Geno Smith. That's where he's at.
Okay.
I do feel like there is a little bit of a resurgence coming for Denver. Out of the bye week, you're starting to figure things out.
One would hope.
11 is Kyler Murray on sheer talent alone, but the attitude's awful.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't watch Hard Knocks last night, you'll walk away from that going, Kyler's a jerk, and Cliff Kingsbury is completely clueless.
No control over that.
But he has a very sweet house.
He does. Does have a sweet house.
Number 10 is Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Propped up by the surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
But much like the others, he fits into the system he's asked for. And I do feel like if they get behind, he can beat you. He can also beat himself, which is why he's not above any of the guys in the top 9.
Okay.
Tua Tagovailoa is 9. Because he's Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
They're the exact same guy. You understand that, right?
Propped up by the weapons, yeah.
The weapons prop you up to make you look better than you are. And if you didn't have the weapons, you would look less than you are. If the offensive line was a little better, you would look better than you are.
Mm-hmm. You would probably look very Ryan Tannehill-y.
8 is Jalen Hurts. Because he's Tua Tagovailoa. You see what I'm doing here?
Right,
you see
right.
how
They're all connected.
Yeah, you see how it's like a great big puzzle. 6 is 7 is Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
6 is Lamar Jackson. 5 is Tom Brady. 4 is Justin Herbert. 3 is Joe Burrow. Josh Allen at 2. Pat Mahomes at 1.
And that, my friends, is what a power ranking should
That is what
look
a
like.
legitimate ranking looks like. And if you don't believe me, ask yourself this question. Look at every quarterback in order. Would their team trade them for the quarterback underneath them to win for the rest of this year?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is no 31 times. That is what happens when you don't overreact to. But Justin Fields had 178 yards rushing.
Right.
So did Jonathan Taylor about 6 times. You want him to play quarterback for you? Because you're getting about the same thing out of both.
While they may be having great seasons, I don't think you should see Geno Smith and Justin Fields in a top 10 list of quarterbacks.
CBS has Geno Smith at 4.
That's right.
At 4. Ahead of Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I mean, I know you need to get clicks. I fully understand that, but you don't believe that any more than I do.
Justin Fields over Justin Herbert? That's what the NFL list has.
Yeah, Fields was at 15. Which, I don't agree with it, but at least that's not such an overreaction. I can't stand when people see something happen one time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dan Orlovsky had a good game. Matt Flynn had a good game. Now, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks have good half of seasons. Sam Darnold looked like a franchise quarterback for half a year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he is? No. Look at who you play. Look at the surroundings. How many of these games are at home? What do you do coming off of buys? How many long weeks do you have?
Mm-hmm.
All of these things are pertinent. Yet they just go out the way. Justin Fields looking so good. No, he's not.
There's one more quarterback that's been rising up the rankings, not in the pro level, but at the college level. Drake May continues to get all the headlines for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Coming up after the Sports Center update, we will talk to Jones Angell, the voice of the Tar Heels, who you hear right here on ESPN Asheville every football and basketball game. Talk to him about what's next for the 8-1 North Carolina Tar Heels, who have a chance to clinch their spot in the ACC title game coming up this weekend against Wake Forest. It's a huge game for the Tar Heels.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Flood watch and wind advisory up for Asheville as what's left of the cold comes up to western North Carolina tonight and Friday. Could see some 1.5-inch downpours, the potential for some higher wind gusts here. 57 degrees our low for tonight. The wind's strongest early Friday morning. 1 inch of rain Friday, high 67, low 49, and we clear things out from Nicole for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell's Black Friday event starts early with savings on XPS and Alienware PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors, plus special pricing on accessories and free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. See better and stay safe on the road with our visibility event. Right now, you can earn up to $20 in bonus rewards when you buy a pair of Rain-X Quantum Wiper Blades and Sylvania Silverstar Ultra headlights. Take advantage of the rewards from October 31st until November 13th, in-store or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Offer available to AutoZone Rewards members.
Staples is a one-stop destination for shipping supplies like boxes, mailers, and packing filler to services like UPS Shipping. And right now, get 25% off UPS Express shipping services at Staples. Offer valid in U.S. Staples stores through 12/31. Staples, the best-kept secret in shipping.
Make plans now to attend the 76th Annual Asheville Holiday Parade presented by Bojangles. The parade rolls, dances, and marches through downtown Asheville on Saturday, November 19th, beginning at 11 a.m. Sponsors and partners make the parade possible. Thanks to Bojangles, Explore Asheville, Ingles Markets, City of Asheville, Go Minis Portable Storage, Winter Lights at the NC Arboretum, Apple Tree Honda, Deerfield, Sun Tzu Martial Arts, WLOS, Star 104.3, 99.9 Kiss Country, Kudzu Brands, Kimpton Hotel Eras, Aloft Asheville Downtown, and Asheville Color and Imaging.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Washington Commanders are accused in a civil lawsuit of lying to fans in order to protect the team's image and profits. That suit filed today by the D.C. Attorney General, who plans to subpoena team owner Daniel Snyder and former employees. The team and the NFL are accused of colluding during the league's investigation of a toxic workplace culture in Washington. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Raiders tight end Darren Waller will go on IR with a sore hamstring. He'll miss at least 4 weeks. Wideout Hunter Renfrow also goes on the list with an oblique injury. The marquee matchup of Week 10, the 6-2 Bills hosting the 7-1 Vikings. Minnesota quarterback Kirk Cousins.
I've been the first one after games to say, hey, we won, we can play better. It's great to be having these conversations at 7-1 rather than at 1-7. There's no doubt that we're always looking to improve, and this is a great test this Sunday.
Kirk Cousins. Bruins defenseman Charlie McAvoy makes his season debut tonight against the Flames. McAvoy had left shoulder surgery 5 months ago.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And you are in the Sportsocracy, the Democratic Republic of Sports, right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Don't forget, you can see us everywhere you go on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you can join us in the chat, get the alerts whenever we go live, and you can find all of the best action right there, and you join the House of Reprehensibles. You can get in our Discord, chat with us at any time. Speaking of chatting with us, we always have Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, joining us here on ESPN Asheville each and every week at 4 o'clock to get the latest on the Heels, and the Heels have now risen to number 15 in the latest college football playoff ranking, 8-1 on the season, number 1 in the ACC Coastal Division, and have a chance to sew up a spot in the ACC championship game this Saturday against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Jones, it just continues to grow.
Yeah, when you get to this point of the year, Tank, and you are playing well and you're accruing those wins,
every week it feels like it gets a little bigger and a little bigger, and you can see some bigger and bigger goals that are starting to become possible. And certainly the Tar Heels are in that boat right now. They've got a really good chance to make that ACC championship game. They need just one more win or have Duke and Georgia Tech lose, but Carolina would much rather just take care of that business themselves. Certainly the ranking, I think, at this point of the year is, and we've talked about this before, it's much more valid when you get the rankings this time of year than earlier in the season, because you finally do have a body of work that you can rank everybody on and see where everybody kind of stacks up against everybody else. And the Tar Heels feel like they're playing well. I don't think they played their best game of the season this past Saturday, but they found a way to win in Charlottesville and beat Virginia and keep moving forward. And sometimes you got to do that too. And so it'll be a big challenge Saturday night. Wake's really good. They're really old. I'm sure they're not real happy. They haven't played as well as they'd like to these last couple of weeks. And so Carolina's got a big challenge ahead of it for sure.
Well, the North Carolina Tar Heels went up to Charlottesville, as you said, got the close win, 31-28 against the Virginia Cavaliers. Playing tough on the road is it's kind of always been a something that the Tar Heel teams have been missing. I mean, especially last year, and now when you consider that they're 5-0 on the road this year. I heard Mac Brown talking on the coach's show earlier this week about how, I mean, this is what you had to do. You had to learn how to win on the road, and they've done that.
Yeah, and, Tank, there's never been a Carolina team that finished 6-0 on the road. Never. In 1925, they had a team that went 6-0 in games away from Chapel Hill, but a lot of those were neutral site games, and we are, after all, talking about 97 years ago or whatever that is. So it's been a long time since Carolina's had a team that has been able to be this successful away from home. The last one that was 5-0 on the road was 1997. That team finished 5-0 away from Chapel Hill, and of course that was a terrific team for the Tar Heels. Some people think it was the best team that Carolina ever had. And so, I think what this team has done is they've just found a way. Every one of those road games has been close, but none of them have been the same. It's been different scenarios in every game. It's required different things to win the game at the end. And Carolina's just figured out a way to do it, whether it was, outscoring Appalachian in a game that the Tar Heels really felt like shouldn't have been as close as it was. They had a sizable lead that they let slip away. Whether it was have that incredible 2-minute drive at the end of the Duke game, whether it was having an 8.5-minute drive against Miami to go up 2 scores late, whether it was this past week at Virginia where they were down at halftime and had to come out and really played well in the third and early fourth quarters to get up a couple scores and then kind of cruise their way in for the victory. They've all been different. And so for Carolina to be able to make the plays at the times that were needed, I think has been really encouraging, and it builds confidence. It absolutely builds confidence that you think you are going to be the team that's going to make the plays. And I do think that last year, at some point, the Tar Heels lost their confidence some in close games on the road because they had so many that went the wrong way that I think you start not necessarily feeling like it's going to go bad, but I think when it starts going bad, you let it affect you more. And this team has not done that. And I think some of those early road wins against App and Georgia State, even though they're not the best two teams the Tar Heels have played this year, I think just getting those wins on the road helped start to build some confidence that's only grown since then.
Well, another one coming on the road this Saturday at Wake Forest. A team, as you said, Jones, has had its struggles in the past few weeks. What was it, 8 turnovers that they had against NC State?
Yeah, it was 8 against Louisville and then 3 more against NC State. So
okay.
11
8
total.
against Louisville.
And yeah, it was 11 total in the last 2 games. And I think the really surprising part about it is, obviously those are big turnover numbers regardless of the team. But Wake had been so good about not turning the ball over. That had been one of their strengths is, they are such an old and veteran team. and they didn't hurt themselves. That was one of the things that had made Wake Forest good the last year and a half, was that they really did a good job avoiding those type of miscues and made you go beat them. But, man, it was wild to watch that Louisville game, Tank. I mean, at halftime, that game was tied. It was a one-score game. And then all of a sudden, Wake just couldn't do anything right. And they turned it over, I think, on 5 straight possessions. It was insane. And so they played better than that last week in Raleigh against NC State, but still had some mistakes that hurt them and allowed and State played well and was able to get a big home win. So they're 6-3 right now. My guess is that they're frustrated that some of their bigger goals are no longer attainable, but that doesn't mean that they're not a good team. And they're going to be fired up to see the Tar Heels. Wake Forest does not like Carolina. So that is going to be a hostile environment there in Winston. I think there will be hopefully a lot of Tar Heel fans there as well, but should be a charged atmosphere to play in, and Carolina's going to have to play at a really high level. I think this is the toughest road game that Carolina is going to have. This is their last one, and I think it's the toughest one that they'll have all season long.
Now, is this an actual conference game, or are we still doing that thing where we're playing an ACC team, but it doesn't count?
Right, yeah, it's hard to figure out. No, this one counts. Yeah, okay. This one counts. So, I mean, that's where it's even more important for the Tar Heels as far as that goes. And some people get confused with division or not division. This counts 100% for the Coastal Division race because they're just going by your total ACC record. So Carolina needs this win. If they get it, then they are the Coastal Division champions with a win this week. Again, it could, if Duke and Georgia Tech lose one more time at any point, then Carolina would win the division as well, but they'd much rather not back their way in. They want to get in there by continuing to play well, and so this game does count ACC standings and would go towards that Coastal Division, would lock it up if Carolina can get it.
Well, the matchup against Wake Forest has, I mean, it's been a struggle against Sam Hartman for the Tar Heels. He has just blazed the Tar Heels in the last couple of years. What is he in store for this year that's going to be different, or that could make this different?
There hadn't been a lot of defense the last 2 years these two teams have played. Carolina's won each of the last 2 seasons, and the final score was 59-53 and 58-55. So just incredible scores. I think that's 225 total points. There was more in the 2 games combined. There was more than 2,400 yards of offense in the 2 games. So, I mean, just insane amounts of yardage and points put up by both these teams over the last 2 years. I do think Carolina's, and for that matter, Wake Forest's defense is in a better place, and I know Carolina's defensive numbers don't look terrific. I do think Carolina's defense and Wake's defense are both better than they have been the last few years. But Carolina's not alone in getting stressed by Wake Forest offense. They're really good. They have that slow mesh play that they use a fair amount. It's not their whole offense, but they use it a fair amount. That is really difficult to defend. And they've got terrific wide receivers. I think they have Wake Forest from number 1 through number 5 or 6 as deep and talented a wide receiver core as anybody in the conference. And they're all old. All these guys have been there so long. A.T. Perry and Jamal Banks and Taylor Moore and Donovan Greene. These guys have played a ton of football. And so they're really tough to stop. And Tank, what they really do as frequently as anybody is they're going to push the ball down the field. They go deep more than any team in the conference. And, I mean, you're going to look at 12, 15, 18 times in a game that they're going to push the ball down the field. And so they've got the receivers that are good enough to go get those 50-50 balls. And just with the way the game is officiated now, they get so many pass interference calls. I watched them a large amount of the day yesterday. I watched Wake Forest film from this year, and Tank, I can't tell you how many times that teams were flagged for pass interference, and it's just because it stresses you so much to consistently try and stop that deep ball that you're inevitably going to get out of phase, or you're going to get a little handsy or grab somebody and pick up a flag. And so that's the challenge for this Tar Heel defense, is to two things. One, get some pressure on Hartman, make him uncomfortable as best you can, and that has been a struggle for the Heels, I think, especially with the injuries that they're dealing with up front. And then defend on the back end without drawing flags, and that's not easy to do.
106th in FBS football with just 14 sacks on the season is this Tar Heel defense.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times people say, Gene Chizik never blitzes. He just sits back there. That's just not true, right? It is true that those blitzes haven't gotten home. That part is true. But to say that the Tar Heels never bring pressure, I think, would be inaccurate. I think the biggest issue has been Carolina hasn't been able to consistently get pressure with four, nor have they been able to get consistent pressure when they bring an extra guy. And so that's something I know that they have worked on, that they realize, of course, has to get better. And I think will be particularly important this week, because Sam Hart, if you let him sit back there, he is going to pick you apart. So you've got to not necessarily bring the house at him, because he can get the ball out of his hands quickly, but you've got to be able to close that pocket down on him. He's not the biggest guy back there. You can knock down a lot of balls at the line of scrimmage. Carolina's done that well the last couple of years, and he will hold the ball, similar to Sam Howell over the last couple of years for Carolina. It was, you knew Sam could make a play at the last minute, and that he could make something happen when you thought the play was breaking down. Hartman's similar, but with that, he will also take some sacks if you can get in his lap. And so Carolina's got to be able to do that coming up on Saturday night.
Yeah, the Heels have had to rally against Wake Forest 2 times in a row now to get the victory. Playing at Wake that's a tough environment. Since 2019, they've only lost 3 games at home. 2 of them were to Clemson.
Yeah, and they've beaten Carolina 3 straight there. And, they're good at home, and Carolina's been good on the road, at least this year, so we'll see what happens. But, I think much more for the Tar Heels is the quality of opponent. And I know it happens in college football. A team loses 1 or 2 in a row, and you kind of think, they're not any good. I mean, that's obviously not the case here. Wake has lost 2 in a row, and they're disappointed by that. But they are one of the better teams in the conference, and Carolina's going to have to play at a high level to be able to win this game.
Absolutely. The chance to punch the ticket for the ACC championship game comes up Saturday night, 7:30 kickoff, 6:30 pregame right here on ESPN Asheville with Jones and the rest of the crew. You will hear it here. Also, we'll be following you throughout the basketball season as well. The first game is in the books, UNC Wilmington. Tar Heels got a win over them the other night. Was there any major takeaway from the first game of the season?
I thought Carolina really played a high level defensively in that game. And also, I want to give credit to UNCW. I think they came in with a good game plan. They very clearly wanted to slow the game down. They weren't taking shots until the shot clock was getting around, not even really getting into their offense until the shot clock was getting down to 8 or 10. They weren't getting shots till it was at 4 or 6. And they did all of that to minimize the possessions. And then they would a little half-court pressure, which wasn't causing a bunch of turnovers. I think maybe Carolina turned it over once on a backcourt violation. But it was just to slow the game down. And so Carolina wasn't able to get into its offense until there was, 18 seconds left on the shot clock or something like that, because they'd just gotten it front court, and then they'd get the ball to the guy they want to have it in his hands, and then things would get started. And so, and it was very physical. I mean, Tank, it looked like an early November game. There were more than 40 fouls called. There were more than 50 free throws taken. There just wasn't much rhythm to the game. And I think, again, a lot of that was by design for UNCW to kind of muck it up and make it physical and make it ugly. They thought that gave them the best chance to win, which is okay. They were trying to win the game. For Carolina, the Tar Heels, I thought, were really good on the defensive side. And Hubert Davis has said he thinks his team can go from very good to great if it can play defense, and they were really good on that side. They were not very smooth offensively. They really need to find in my opinion, one more option in the half court. And Pete Nance is going to play better offensively than he did in this past game for Carolina. Puff Johnson wasn't available. I think he's going to be a big part. Jalen Washington is really close. He wasn't quite available. I think he's going to be somebody who Carolina is going to rely on some. And it looked like a first game of the season. So as you've seen with some other teams, Louisville and Florida State losing at home, it's not the same now as it was when you and I were growing up, where you'd play these games and they were all rollover wins.
Right.
There are so many good players now across the country that I think it's just harder. Carolina should be favored and will likely win a lot of these games against smaller schools, but it's harder to do now than ever before, especially this early in the season. And so I think for Carolina, getting the win was the most important thing, and of course they want to continue to improve. And by the way, I'll say one more thing before we get out of here,
Yes,
Tank.
sir.
How about my man Jeff Saturday, who's been with us on the Tar Heel Sports Network, and now all of a sudden he's the head coach of the Colts. Unbelievable. I do want to say, I understand the discussion that I'm sure you guys have had this week and others about the lack of experience, and that's, of course, a valid discussion. I will say Jeff is one of the smartest football, just A, smart dudes, and B, smart football guys that I've ever met. He has such a magnetic personality, and he's so charismatic. That none of those things equal success necessarily, but I think that Jeff certainly has a chance to be successful. He's going into a tough situation, but man, I hope he does well, and really was excited to see that for him, and hope that he has some success because he's a great guy.
Absolutely. We're all right there with you. And did you see the press conference today? I saw
did. And that was as soon as I knew, because the original press conference, I didn't think he talked. Jim Irsay talked most of that press conference. I knew as soon as Jeff Saturday, when they got a chance to really hear from him and let him talk a little bit, people were going to start thinking this was a much better idea. And I think you saw that today. And I love the honesty from Jeff when he said, "Look, I may not be good at this. I don't know. I may be terrible. And if that's the case, then I'll say see you later at the end of the season." But he absolutely speaks his truth. He's a confident dude who knows the game. And whether it's going to work or not, I have no idea. But I do know that he is a terrific guy, and I'm glad he's getting that opportunity.
Tell you what, I haven't had a rooting interest in the Indianapolis Colts since one of my favorite players retired years ago, and now Jeff Saturday as the head coach. I'm back on the bandwagon. Hope he does well. Hope you do well as well. Hope the Tar Heels do well this weekend up against Wake Forest Saturday night right here on ESPN Asheville. 7:30 is the kickoff. Also, just next up for the Tar Heels basketball-wise, you got Charleston tomorrow, and then on Tuesday, a matchup with Gardner-Webb. But we will hear you right here on ESPN Asheville Saturday for the Wake Forest game. Can't wait for it, and can't wait to talk to you next Thursday, sir.
Thanks, Tank. Talk to you soon.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go approaching Hendersonville Road and continuing to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway to approaching Airport Road. 40 on the westbound side is slow between Porters Cove Road and 240 Charlotte Highway. 40 westbound in Haywood County crawling between exit 27 and US 276. 40 eastbound stop and go between Vines Creek Road and US 276. In Fletcher, Hendersonville Road northbound stop and go between Rockwell Drive and Old Airport Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway, delays. Merriman Avenue north and southbound near Edgewood Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Everyone knows you get a better deal down the mountain at Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Black Friday sales event. Right now, you can custom order your new vehicle, plus save 5% off MSRP. Visit us online at marioncdjr.com or in person on Worley Road in Marion. See dealer for details.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about a Govix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge rolls on. Make your picks by the Thursday night game at ESPNAVL.com. Weekly winners win a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and a register for the grand prize, a year's worth of golf for two at Chestnut Mountain Golf Course.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, and I'm glad Jones got that little part in there at the end about Jeff Saturday because, look, I thought it was dumb as well. I'll be honest with you. I love Jeff Saturday, loved him as a player, love him on TV. I thought it was a dumb idea to make him the head coach until I saw today's press conference.
Well, I don't think you can glean anything like that from the press conference. That's what he was always going to say. If you've watched Jeff on television or listened to him on radio, that was what I conveyed from Jones's. Of course, that's what he said. Mm-hmm. He's a very likable guy. That's what I was trying to say yesterday. Is if Jim Irsay would just get out of his own way and say, "Look, I trust this guy. I didn't trust what was happening with Frank Reich," and then shut up,
right,
and let him talk. But I loved how Jones said that. Well, the initial press conference was just Jim Irsay pounding his chest and running his mouth
and talking about the fear in the coaches and all that kind of stuff, like throwing shade at Frank Reich and Marcus Brady and everybody else that he's fired with the dismal season that they've had. But I don't know. It's just when you hear Jeff Saturday up on that podium in front of that microphone, being able to, like Jones said, speak his truth, it makes you go, you know what? Maybe this has got a chance. Maybe they got a chance to. I mean, they're still horrible. They're still going to be a bad team because they don't have the talent.
But Jeff's a leader of men, and he said that in the press conference, and that's where I get this. I know it's off the beaten path. I don't know what else you're supposed to do. And if you're going to let Frank Reich go, the two alternatives were Gus Bradley and John Fox.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm going to pass on both of those. And if the problem is that you lost the voice in the room and Frank Reich had gotten stale, this is one way to beat that.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Saturday comes in, and I mean, he is a guy who's done it. He's played in the league. He's played with the best of all time, some of them anyway, and he automatically commands respect.
If he doesn't find a way to get NFL Films to say something where he goes, "Yeah, Peyton, I call the plays now," you did it wrong.
He did do it wrong. But I mean, does this have the ability? Does this have the potential to give? Now, I'm not talking about a playoff run or anything like that. We know that's out of the question for this team, but kind of in the same vein as the Rich Bisaccia thing from last year, to give this team a little shot in the arm.
It could. I don't know that you have. I don't know that you have the systems in place for that, but you could see an improvement. My biggest curiosity, if I could ask Jim Irsay one question, and he had to tell me the truth, is your plan for Jeff Saturday to be the coach of this team moving forward? Or was this really just an 8-game tryout? Because I think he would say it's the former, not the latter.
Really? You think he plans on him taking over?
I don't know how you could have sold this to him. I mean, and look, the dirty little secret is with people that do what we do, if you get offered something like this, you know media is always there. Mm-hmm. You don't age out of this. You can age out of coaching. You can age out of the rigor of the travel and the long nights. I get that part. I just struggle to believe if Jeff wants to be a coach in this league, which that's what it sounded like to me, is that he wants to be a head coach in this league.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, I don't know how you sold him on this unless there was this is more than just an audition. And then you could get into some interesting issues in the offseason where you start doing the requisite interviews and everybody figures out that this is a sham.
Mm-hmm.
That will be interesting to watch as we go along.
Look, I don't know if this is if that was the plan, but this is exactly what this is. This is an 8-game tryout for him to come in and figure it out. And he said it in his press conference today. Look, if I'm no good at this and I suck at it, I'm going to know.
That's the funniest line he said.
Right.
If I'm terrible, 8 weeks from now, see ya. I got to go.
Because Jeff Saturday's not the kind of person that's going to embarrass himself.
No.
He will go back to TV to doing what he was doing, and he'll be just fine. But if he is good, if he's a good manager of the game, a good leader of men.
I just love how many media guys have said, "Hey, I'm open to doing some coaching stuff. Hell, I'll throw my name in the ring. Let's go."
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Let's get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Hey, Jeremy, I know you're not a big geography guy. But
is anybody a big geography guy?
No, we're Americans.
Anybody going home and going, that's where Austria is?
Yeah,
that's the thing I know.
We're Americans. We don't care about geography. We know where the big cities are. We know where the states are, kind of.
I know where all the states are.
You still have a lot of people who probably couldn't get a blank map and fill in every state's name.
I could do it quite quickly.
Oh, I'm sure you could. I'm not calling you a dummy. I'm just saying.
Now, if you go into other countries, no idea.
Exactly.
I might get lucky to put them on the right continent.
Mm-hmm. In Oklahoma, there's a town called Chickasha, Oklahoma. And the only reason that they are making the news today is because it's Christmas time, boys and girls. We sat down to watch our first Christmas movie of the year last night.
Stop that. It's not even Thanksgiving yet.
It's not, but we had to do it. First time.
Thanksgiving gets just housed, and it's the best holiday, and it's not really all that close.
Yeah, but there's nothing to celebrate about it. There's
food.
No
there's a lot of things to celebrate. Turkey in your mouth hole.
And that's fine. We can take
There's
a little break.
No presents. I don't have to deal with anybody. It's just me, a fork, and a table. Let's go.
Chickasha, or however you say it, Oklahoma.
Is that the sound from Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yeah. Chickasha, Oklahoma. They have a new park that is they cut the ribbon on their new downtown, quote unquote, downtown park.
I love how every city has a downtown.
Of course they do.
Beautiful downtown. Chicka-chicka-sha.
It has probably the coolest feature, and it makes me actually want to go. Maybe I should go to Oklahoma. Maybe I should drive to Chickasha just to see this new statue that they put up in their public park.
You certainly don't drive.
Well, you could fly. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, one takes 4 hours, one takes 3 days.
They're in their new park. They have a 50-foot tall statue that is just sheerly of the soft glow of electric sex. It is the leg lamp from The Christmas Story.
Oh, good Lord. I was like, what are you getting ready to do here? I didn't know what that line meant at all.
That's what Ralphie said when he saw the leg lamp. Remember, it comes in the big box, the big fragile box.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I remember this movie. It was an hour and a half of me questioning my entire life.
Dad wins his major award and takes it out and puts it up in the window, and that's what Ralphie said. It gave off the soft glow of electric sex. They have a 50-foot tall statue of the leg lamp that's going up in their new park. And the reason, it's not because Chickasha, Oklahoma has any real actual tie to the movie, like it wasn't supposed to be set in the town, like the director wasn't from the town. There was this one guy who claims that his idea, his creation, was the spark for the leg lamp. And nobody knew about it until the guy died 2 years ago, and it was in his obituary. This guy was like a professor of the arts, and he created he took a mannequin, took the bottom half of the mannequin, put the outside of a fabric wastebasket, a trash can, on top of it, made a lamp out of it, had the full bottom half. And he alleges that back in the day, there was a guy who took one of his classes that ended up being on the staff for the movie, and he was the creator of this. And because of that loose story that no one can really verify, this town has now just said, screw it. 50-foot tall statue of the leg lamp. Let's go. It's permanent. It's not just there for Christmas. It will be there forever.
States have got to stop doing things in homage of movies. Oklahoma's going leg lamp from A Christmas Story. Pennsylvania just elected Sloth from the Goonies. If you have watched the news at all recently, you saw that Ted Cruz. I knew that was going to get him. I've set that up for the entire duration of that story. If you've watched the news at all recently, you know that Ted Cruz just had a beer can thrown at him in the middle of a parade.
Yep.
Well, they arrested the man. His name's Joseph Halm Archidiacono. I think I pronounced that right. I don't know. 33-year-old man who's currently facing felony charges for assault. There's only one problem. He explained why he did it.
Okay.
Apparently, he grew up like me. He was a big fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He just wanted to see Ted Cruz crush a White Claw on the parade float.
Really? That
was his excuse. He said, I just thought Ted looked thirsty, so I threw him a beer and thought maybe he'd just Stone Cold Steve Austin it. I can neither confirm nor deny if that's what he was thinking. I will, however, say that is a great defense, and your lawyer deserves more money.
It absolutely is. In the state of Texas, that's also that's a great defense. Because the Texas rattlesnake is like a god in Texas. So if you could tie it back to Stone Cold, you might find a judge that'll buy that.
And that's the bottom line, because Ted Cruz said so.
Exactly. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Flood watch and wind advisory up for Asheville as what's left of Nicole comes up to western North Carolina tonight and Friday. Could see some 1.5 inch downpours, the potential for some higher wind gusts here. 57 degrees our low for tonight. The wind strongest early Friday morning. 1 inch of rain Friday, high 67, low 49, and we clear things out from Nicole for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound, stop and go approaching Hendersonville Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County, 40 westbound, crawling between exit 27 and US 276. 40 on the eastbound side, stop and go between Fines Creek Road and US 276. Sardis Road northbound is slow between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road near Fletcher. Hendersonville Road northbound crawling between Rockwell Drive and Old Airport Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound stop and go approaching Mills Gap Road. Merriman Avenue north and southbound near Edgewood Road delays. I'm Lee Binfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Halloween is over, but hiring is still scary. Indeed's end-to-end solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace. Look, it's not that I hate Thanksgiving. I'm not like trying to throw shade on Thanksgiving. You just don't have, you don't have the season activities that Christmas does.
Of course you do. Eating.
Yeah, but you only do that on one day.
You don't do that on one day. Leftovers. It's a 4-day experience.
Well, yeah, but
it's actually a 5-day experience if you're the one cooking, because you get a whole extra day of just picking at stuff.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it still doesn't come for another 2 weeks.
That's the only reason you have a ham.
And look, when your kids look at you and say, "Hey, we want to start the Christmas season," you got to go, "All right, screw it, I'm in. We're putting up the tree this weekend."
Oh, stop. So you're going to put a tree up in your house and leave it there for 2 months?
Yep.
I'll probably do the same thing.
Exactly.
But mine will be from like the middle of December till, I don't know,
I was going to say, hell, you had one up in your house for 6 months.
I almost convinced Amy to have a year-round tree. Of just, you know what? It's not a Christmas tree. It's a everyday tree.
It's an everyday tree.
That's how the Draftmas tree thing came about.
Yeah.
Because I still had a Christmas tree up in my office in April.
Mm-hmm. The holiday tree. You just decorate it different for every holiday.
Put fireworks on it for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Put hearts on it for Valentine's Day.
Not actual fireworks, though, because that'll cause a fire.
Yep, and that also sounds like crimes.
It is crimes.
My wife's an insurance agent. I am not getting away with that.
Yeah. Christmas season's already begun in my house. I'm just fine with it.
Just no music. The music's awful. All of it's awful.
Again, agree to disagree.
Oh, it's awful. You're one of those people, aren't you?
I love Christmas music.
You just ride around in your car listening to Christmas music.
100%. I have my iHeartRadio app that I can now sync up.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, that I can now sync up to my 2017 Rogue.
Second shameless plug.
That I got from Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Certified pre-owns. No problems there. They'll inspect it. They will give you the Carfax report. They will make sure that you're well taken care of. And I can sync up my iHeartRadio Tanks Christmas playlist and just listen to it all season long.
Boys, that was a double promo. That's how it's done. Let's give a round of applause for the guy that just almost peed his pants on camera. Let's go. In the comments, they're saying that very high pitched laugh that just came out of you needs to be on a button. I can make that happen.
We can make that happen.
I may have to amplify it a little bit because he got really far away from his microphone to do it.
I did. Well, because I knew when it gets that close, I mean, and that's coming, like you got to get away from the mic or that's going to blow everybody's ears out.
Yeah. Just jokes, people. Just jokes.
Just like they said in the YouTube comments, you want Thanksgiving to be a bigger thing? Give it some songs.
I don't need Thanksgiving
more than Adam
songs.
Sandler. I need more than Adam Sandler's Thanksgiving song.
Nope. I don't need songs. I need food. I need a plate and a fork and a seat.
Well, you'll get that in, 2 weeks?
Oh, yes.
But until then.
And football.
But until then, we've already started the Christmas movies. And we had to start it with the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Die Hard.
No.
Batman
Wonderful
Returns.
Life. Because I will watch it at least 16 times before Christmas gets here.
God, that's a long movie to watch that many times.
That's my favorite. It's my favorite. Anyway, here in the Sportsocracy, we always give you the latest and the greatest from the NFL.
The Las Vegas Raiders may not have a team by the time we get to Sunday.
Yeah. You talk about a team embracing the suck.
You're doing a good job of that.
The Las Vegas Raiders have looked at. They went from. There has been progress with Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow to limited practices. It looks like they're coming about. Oh, nope, IR. 4 weeks at least.
Darren Waller, and I would say Darren Waller's probably done for the year.
It's so frustrating. As someone who's heavily invested in him in fantasy football, this is bad news.
The Las Vegas Raiders just looked at a 4-week stretch with the Colts, Broncos, Seahawks, and Chargers and went, no, I don't think we're going to do that. They could be 3-9 at the end of that. I mean, you're not bringing Darren Waller back for or Hunter Renfrow. Blake Martinez just looked around and went, I'm good. I think we're going to call that a career. I'm going to go home now.
Well, I mean, it was time, wasn't it? And
Blake Martinez?
Isn't he older? Isn't he?
I think he's 28 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? I was thinking he was in his mid-30s.
28 years old.
Really?
Yeah. And just said, no, I think I'm good. That is as off the rails as I think you could possibly ever be.
Was it concussion related or no reason given? Just, I'm out.
Nope, gotta go. His Instagram post said, I am announcing my retirement from the wonderful game of football. Amazing journey, incredible franchises, lifelong friendships, excited for this new journey.
Wow. Man, we came into this year with such high hopes for the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, were they top 10 in our preseason power ranking?
Oh, absolutely. We thought Josh McDaniels was going to be a stabilizing force, and in all reality, he just broke the franchise.
Mm-hmm. Which gives you all the more reason, or at least gives Mark Davis all the more reason to just tap out. This is not good. And I think you're in a worse position now than you were with John Gruden, and that's saying something.
This is ugly. This is ugly, and if you think they're going to eradicate the GM and McDaniels at the end of the year, they're giving them an awful lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting Jonathan Abrams, and I know he wasn't signed for next year. I get that. But to have the autonomy just to buy. He's now with the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like an awful lot of power given to somebody that you don't plan on being here 8 weeks from now.
Right.
I kind of think that you're stuck with this for another year. You're going to get a really high draft pick. I mean, look, there's still talent on this team. I feel like that's another one of those. I feel like something's happening, and I know what I've heard, and I'm not going to run with it solely because it's not verified and it's not good. I'll put it that way. If you're in our YouTube chat, somebody just hit on it pretty close.
Was it just discontent within the team?
There's some going off the rails. Is what I've been told.
Okay.
There are some people that are not fully committed. There are some people doing some things that they shouldn't be. That's what I've been told. Not going to go into it.
Well,
it is what it is.
We'll find out. We'll find out
doubt.
in the long run.
Oh, if what I've heard is true, you will find out in very short order. And it's a bad look. It's a bad look. You move, you build this gigantic Roomba stadium. The talent is all there, and you're just awful. It's almost hard to wrap your brain around.
Mm-hmm.
And we say for the 15th year in a row, stop hiring Bill Belichick assistants.
Indeed. It hasn't worked for anyone. And now the Las Vegas Raiders have done it, and they went full in. They didn't just go head coach. I mean, they went full-on New England Patriots dynasty. I mean, getting Ziegler, the GM from the New England Patriots, Patrick Graham, and the head coach, Josh McDaniels. It's not good. Not good at all, and now the Raiders' season is pretty much over. 2-6, and I won't be surprised at all if they get dusted by the Indianapolis Colts this week.
Oh, I will be surprised if they get dusted. That line has moved a lot. They could lose, but I don't think they're going to. Dusted would shock me.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic time to go 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound is stop and go between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slowing between I-40 and the French Broad River. 40 westbound near George's Branch Road seeing delays. Haywood County 40 westbound crawling between exit 27 and US 276. 40 eastbound stop and go between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Sardis Road northbound slow between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road northbound crawling between Rockwell Drive and Old Airport Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road, northbound, stop and go, approaching Long Shoals Road and continuing to Clayton Road. Merriman Avenue, north and southbound, approaching Edgewood Road is slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Some banks can make it complicated to redeem credit card rewards. But with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
It's Pro Time, which means at Lowe's, you're invited to enjoy a Lowe's Pro Happy Hour. Kick back with free Pepsi Cola drinks and Frito-Lay snacks. Plus, earn 3 times bonus points per dollar on purchases of select Pepsi products. Come into Lowe's and get the full MVP treatment at Pro Happy Hour on November 17th from 2 to 5 p.m. While supplies last. Bonus points offer valid 10/27 through 12/8. Calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. See Lowe's.com /L/pro loyalty terms.
O'Reilly. Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on wiper blades, headlight bulbs, and more. Right now, get up to a $20 gift card after a mail-in rebate with the purchase of select Sylvania bulbs. Plus, get double O Rewards points with your purchase. Prepare for the weather ahead during See Better, Drive Safer Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Open wide. Let me see that smile.
There's a back-to-school braces boom at Doc Kelly's office.
Can you hold on for a sec? Can someone bring me more brackets?
She needs to realign her staffing plan with more registered dental assistants.
Can you reorder the rubber bands in red?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge rolls on. Make your picks by the Thursday night game at ESPNAVL.com. Weekly winners win a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and a register for the grand prize, a year's worth of golf for two at Chestnut Mountain Golf Course.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Ahoy, matey! At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety. From your local catch to flavors from around the world. Wild sashimi tuna, Charleston crab cakes, mountains of shrimp, bourbon salmon, wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa. It's enough to make any salty sea captain ready to set a course for the bounteous treasure of the Ingles Seafood Department. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And, hey, Jeremy, did you see? I'm sure you saw. It's your team. You always see the news revolving around your team. It looks like they're trying to get Elijah Moore going.
They moved him to the slot, which is where he always should have been. Garrett Wilson on the outside. That's two dogs. Oh, I love this. This is going to be a hard weekend for me with no Jets. I did not think I would say that before this year was over. Usually by this time, I'm like, do we have to play this week?
Are we still doing this NFL thing? New York Jets. One of the best defenses in the league.
Sauce Gardner, 3-time Rookie of the Week.
And you're just a quarterback away. You're a quarterback away.
Now we're just limiting the quarterback. Don't ask him to do much. He's got a rocket.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you never quite know where it's going to land.
I do wonder if that pressure turns up, though. If that pressure turns up on the Jets and they continue to be up here and they get into the playoffs and quarterback play is obviously going to hamper you when you get into these games.
Oh, I'll tell you how that will go.
Uh-huh.
If somehow this team misses the playoffs, it's very obviously Zach Wilson's problem. Jimmy Garoppolo is the next starting quarterback of the New York Jets.
Makes all the sense in the world.
Mm-hmm. I said it last year I said earlier in the year when Zach got hurt. If that's the one thing limiting them, I promise you they will not hesitate.
Mm-hmm. But what happens if San Francisco goes to the Super Bowl?
Trey Lance is still the starter. We've
so?
already done this once. We will do it again.
Okay. I mean, if you continue to have success with Jimmy Garoppolo, you gotta bring him back, right?
Well, I mean, success is relative. This is a 4-4 team that got smoked by the Falcons, so
sure
might be putting some carts before some horses.
Maybe
here.
So, but it's still a team we expect to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Now we expected the Raiders to make one too.
True. I hear no lies. Coming up in the next hour, well,
this is going to be the weirdest weekend of football. I'm looking at my prep for tomorrow. I'm telling you right now, when we do the pick segment, there will be people that outwardly call me a moron for some of the things I am going to pick.
Yes. I will agree with that because I already know one of the games you're picking, and I think it's idiotic.
And that's the game where the big anomaly is coming from. And it's the biggest one I've ever seen.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville Sports Center update coming up, and then just a half hour left of the program here. We'll talk about the Thursday night football game, Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. Jeremy's going to squeeze in some bangers here for you for the night.
A little college football, a little Thursday night football.
Absolutely, all coming your way because at 5:30, Tuscola playoff football will begin here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your extra Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Flood watch and wind advisory up for Asheville as what's left of Nicole comes up to western North Carolina tonight and Friday. Could see some 1.5-inch downpours, the potential for some higher wind gusts here. 57 degrees our low for tonight. The wind strongest early Friday morning. 1 inch of rain Friday, high 67, low 49, and we clear things out from Nicole for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic time go 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound is stop and go between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slowing between I-40 and the French Broad River. 40 westbound near George's Branch Road seeing delays. Haywood County 40 westbound crawling between exit 27 and US 276. 40 eastbound stop and go between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Sardis Road northbound slow between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road northbound crawling between Rockwell Drive and Old Airport Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound stop and go approaching Long Shoals Road and continuing to Clayton Road. Merriman Avenue north and southbound approaching Edgewood Road is slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. It's Pro Time. You are invited to kick back at the Lowe's Pro Happy Hour with free Pepsi-Cola drinks and Frito-Lay snacks. Come into Lowe's and get the full MVP treatment at Pro Happy Hour on November 17th from 2 to 5 p.m.
From the Ingles studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
Gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Washington, D.C. Attorney General Carl Racine files a civil lawsuit today against the Commanders, team owner Daniel Snyder, the NFL, and Commissioner Roger Goodell. Under the D.C. Consumer Protection Law, Racine is alleging collusion to deceive fans about the league's investigation of sexual assault in the Commanders' workplace. No word yet on the severity of LeBron James' left leg injury. He's having tests today. James got hurt in the fourth quarter last night against the Clippers. ESPN's Monica McNutt.
If the Lakers aren't going to trade him, he shouldn't be on the floor. He just shouldn't be on the floor. The team is doing nothing. And so I would encourage him to take his time to get healthy.
Monica McNutt on Barton Hahn. Astros right-hander Justin Verlander opts out of his $25 million contract for next season. He'll become a free agent. Nebraska quarterback Casey Thompson is out for Saturday's game at number 3 Michigan with an arm injury. He'll miss his second game in a row.
Halloween is over, but hiring is still a bit scary? Indeed's end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene. Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We come to you live, as always, from the Ingles studio. And you can see us everywhere on the you can see us everywhere on YouTube. Take us with you everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We've got 23 and a half minutes left in the program here before high school football playoff action comes your way with the Tuscola Mountaineers taking on East Lincolnton.
Very specific.
Yes, it is very specific. And tonight, Thursday Night Football, featuring your Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. The Battle of I-85 comes to Bank of America Stadium yet again. And the Carolina Panthers, look, you're not a good football team. I know there are fans that are going to go to the game and you're hoping to put up a good fight. But I mean, at this point, just root for a good 27-24 loss. Just be competitive, but let's just lose. Let's get that high draft pick. Let's get that quarterback, because tonight we're starting a guy who went 3 of 10 for 9 yards last week.
And 2 interceptions. You forgot the most important part.
Yes.
He actually completed 5 passes. Just 2 of them were to people he didn't know, which is not good.
No.
It's going to be raining.
It was so bad that they went, hey, let's play Baker Mayfield.
And that's bad. That's bad, bad. If you saw the mock draft, good for you. If you didn't, it's on the YouTube page. Just go to the Sportsocracy. It's very obvious. It's got a big picture of my head and some nice little text next to it. The Carolina Panthers wind up with Will Levis at number 2. I'm going to tell you, if you want a reason as a Panther fan to feel better about losing, the top 3 quarterbacks are not making it out of the top 5. I have done this every way I could possibly do it, especially if you have Pittsburgh or Philadelphia up there, because they will trade out and take the bounty. If one of those 3 are in the top 3, somebody's going to trade up and give them a mountain for C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, or Bryce Young. So that's a reason to feel better. If you, as you said, 27-24, close loss.
Yep. Close losses. It's the best thing to hope for.
Here's what I think. Here's where I divert from the beaten path. I don't necessarily think that's how this is going to go. Rain is one of those great equalizers. And I will tell you, I've been looking at the betting markets all day. Heavy money is coming in on the Carolina Panthers.
Really?
2-1.
Well, I mean, when it rains, the one thing I'm looking for is who can pound you on the ground.
Well, they both can. They both have that ability.
Yeah.
One of them has a Derek Brown and one of them doesn't.
Indeed.
And that's not to tip my hand, but that's kind of where I'm leaning here.
Okay.
Because I do think it's going to be gross and drizzly. Neither one of these teams really want to come out and just fire it away anyway. I've heard a bunch of people talking about, well, this is what I can be excited for. Really? Really? You think this is going to be riveting Thursday night action? This is confirmation that Jeff Bezos should be looking around going, if you don't give me a team after I paid $1 billion for this.
Because this will be yet another in the pile of dung that he has had on Thursday Night Football.
This is it. Look, Atlanta has been a good story. I have a very simple rule when it comes to the NFL, and that's if I can't explain what you are in 2 sentences or less, it's probably bad.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot explain what Atlanta is in 2 sentences or less. They have a quarterback that just absolutely refuses to throw. I mean, I think he's gone over 20 attempts in 4 games or something like that all year long.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand how you're good. I don't understand how you've gotten here. I don't understand how we are where we are. We just saw this 11 days ago.
But let's correct it. They're not good. I don't know how you've won this many games, probably, but they're not good.
Well, it's hard to be 4-4 in the NFL no matter who you've played and not be at least at some junction good.
Mm-hmm.
This team plays very hard. The defense is better than we thought it was. I didn't say it was good. I said it was better than we thought it was.
Right.
And Mariota's just not turning the ball over. That's the biggest thing. Now, with the rain, that could throw every bit of this cattywampus. You start turning the ball over, and this could be anybody's game.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that's what I think happens, but tis.
Expect a big Deontay Foreman night.
I do think he could be valuable tonight. I don't really like any of the passing weapons. I don't like great quarterbacks in the rain. What do you think I feel about mediocre quarterbacks in the rain?
Not even mediocre quarterbacks.
Bad. I was trying to be nice.
we did our power ranking of quarterbacks at the first hour of the program today. I mean, you had
Carolina was 31, Mariota was 27.
Exactly. They're both in the bottom of the league. It's not good. It's just not good. But the Atlanta Falcons have more to play for I feel like, than the Carolina Panthers do. Because you've at least got a shot.
That's the one thing that scares me. I'm very confused by this is one of those betting anomalies. This is what I said we'll be talking about in games next week, because I'm seeing a ton of this. Over 2/3 of the money's on Carolina, on less than 1/3 of tickets.
Mm-hmm.
That's bizarre. That means somebody really believes that Carolina's winning tonight. But now the anomaly is that a ton of the money line money is on Atlanta. Those two things don't really tied with each other when the line's 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you think this game goes 10-9, which is entirely possible.
I was going to say, it could.
Because the under is getting massacred. Las Vegas would like to see some late tutties here.
What is the number tonight?
41.5. We don't do this anymore, although I do believe we should bring it back. When we first started doing the fantasy game time decisions, anytime I really was in on something, I'd just yell it. So, under!
Take the under in tonight's game.
This could be first team to 10 wins. And I actually do think that kind of plays into P.J. Walker.
Mm-hmm.
He's been good when harassed. Okay, I said that incorrectly. He has been better when harassed. P.J. Walker is one of those quarterbacks that I think he's talented. Now, I'm not telling you he's a starter in this league or anything like that. He's one of those quarterbacks that overthinks everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the cleaner you leave the pocket, the worse he gets.
He thrives in chaos.
That's a good way to say that. And so I think the rain could play into him. I think Deontay Foreman could play into him. And the fact this is a short week could play into him. We see this every week.
Right.
The short week, the short Thursday night week, tends to pander to the lesser team.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't get the best of either. And so that brings the production on the field closer to the mean.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, PJ, while he does lack a lot of talent to be a decent quarterback in this league, he's also like a lot of the mobile quarterbacks around the league. Like when things break down and you have to improvise, that's when big things can happen. We see it with the upper echelon. We talk about the magic of Patrick Mahomes. When do we see that? When the play breaks down and he has to scramble, he has to get outside the pocket, and he's throwing underhanded and behind his back and with his eyes closed and all the Harlem Globetrotter type tricks that he can do with football. We see the same thing on all these guys. I like this new era of NFL quarterback that can be mobile and can make things happen like that outside the pocket. Kyler Murray is one that I feel like he's a way better quarterback when that happens than he is when things are just status quo.
I do too, but I think you're running into something, and these two teams are a great example of this. The Justin Fields thing we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You have chosen a poor time to decide to want to do this. Because have you noticed that linebackers are getting smaller and smaller, and they're getting faster and faster?
They have to keep up.
In the mock draft I just did, I had 6 off-ball linebackers go in the first 2 rounds. You know what they all 6 have in common? Not one of them will run above a 4.6.
Mm-hmm.
That's great when you have Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen or Kyler Murray, guys that are mobile and can hurt you with their legs, but they also hurt you when they play up. The Marcus Mariotas, every passing year, we're pandering into this. This is one of the reasons I cannot stand Justin Fields' career projection. 10 years ago, he would have been unstoppable. Now we're bringing in classes and classes of guys that are meant to stop this very thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the reasons that I don't love Jalen Hurts long-term, because he's got a decent enough arm. He doesn't have a great deep ball arm, and he can't really hurt you if you sell out to harass him. Now, A.J. Brown can. I just feel like at some point they're going to figure that out. Philadelphia's the best team in the NFC. I don't think it's even close. But I see 2 quarterbacks like this going, this is going to work right now. And 2 years from now, something's going to have to change. I've also looked at quarterbacks in the next two classes. That mobile quarterback thing's not stopping anytime soon.
No.
And so it better be a mobile quarterback with a really good arm, because there's two coming out next year that are mobile, big, and can absolutely demolish you down the field.
Hooker.
No, Hendon Hooker comes out this year.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm talking about next year.
class.
It's Caleb Williams and Drake May. You're going to have two quarterbacks go 1-2 next year as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be a battle. You talk about tanking, you're going to see teams that look like they don't belong in the XFL next year. You got three good ones in this class, and they could all move.
Mm-hmm.
And two of them are big kids. Now, one of them is a little small, but that's about the only ding I have on him, and that's Bryce Young.
Right.
But where I'm headed with this is nights like tonight, you're not going to see this 2 years from now. The Marcus Mariotas, that he's got a decent arm, he can't kill you down the field.
Mm-hmm.
P.J. Walker can't kill you down the field. They're mediocre. They're mobile, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, he wouldn't have the weapons to do that anyway. PJ, neither of these teams really have the weapons to do that.
I like DJ Moore, and in the message, repeat the line.
Mm-hmm.
I do love this narrative about Terrace Marshall of, oh, he has finally had his breakout, and the team really believes in him. You mean they don't have any receivers left? Nothing has changed here. It's just you're the two now.
Yeah, production by attrition.
Bingo. Before the commercial break,
I'm your huckleberry.
Colin out here just gifting memberships because he's a great, loyal member of the Sportsocracy family, throwing out 5 free memberships for the month.
There you go. All you got to do is go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link, and click that join button once you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we're still almost at 3,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting on?
Please, I just want to see a 3. I want to see that number start with a 3. That's all I want. I'm not asking much. You got all kinds of draft stuff. You got all kinds of gambling stuff. Got some new little elements to come out tomorrow. I'm just saying. If you remember then you'll get an alert when it happens.
Indeed.
Maybe a new little Friday thing that maybe. My voice doesn't go any higher than that. So
I was going to say, I mean, you're stretching there.
Yeah,
you're
I didn't have
stretching.
anything left. So.
Yeah. Speaking of stretching, my waistline stretched for years and years and years until finally I got in touch with the PhD weight loss program. They came into my life a year ago, and I've lost more than 90 pounds. It's been the greatest results I've ever had from a weight loss program, and the greatest thing about it is, I have hopes for the future that I didn't even know existed. I'm wearing clothes that I never fit in middle school, and now I'm almost 200 pounds. I'm a healthier human, and I'm better off thanks to Dr. Ashley Lucas.
I just bought new clothes, and I discovered something. There's a section where the size doesn't end in T. That's what I've always needed. I'm 6'5". I wore double XL talls because I'm a big old boy. After just under a year on the PhD weight loss program, I'm shopping in the same stores that most of the rest of you do, and it's all thanks to the planning program of PhD weight loss.
It really does open up a whole new world to you when you've lived your life being massively overweight. Once you can trim down a bit, you see how many great opportunities there are out there for you. And yes, Jeremy, how many stores you can shop in now that you couldn't before. You want to get with the plan that's helped us change our lives? Go to myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic westbound between Chun's Cove Road and US 1923 exit 4A. 240 on the eastbound side slow between exit 2 and exit 4A. Future 26 eastbound delays between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 eastbound slow between Bavard Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 westbound stop and go between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between Hendersonville Road and Bavard Road. Again, 40 westbound slow between US 1923, the Smoky Park Highway, and Georges Branch Road. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between exit 27 and US 276. 40 eastbound stop and go between Fines Creek Road and US 276. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road northbound, stop and go between Rockwell Drive and Old Airport Road. Hendersonville Road southbound, stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. In Edneyville, US 64, both directions near Turn Breeches Creek. Expect congestion. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance, where you only pay for what you need. Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Presented by Kentucky Fried Chicken, $6 two-piece drum and thigh combo. For just $6, you get 2 pieces of juicy chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, a flaky biscuit, and a medium-iced cold drink. Order Kentucky Fried Chicken's new $6 two-piece combo now on the KFC app or at KFC.com. That's finger-licking good.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Coffee store closes on. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
It's Thursday night football, but it's not just in the NFL. We have 2 games in college as well. Georgia Southern travels to Louisiana to take on the Raging Cajuns. Woo. Cajuns are the 3.5-point favorite. I'm going to be real honest with you. I haven't watched either one of these teams, but I can tell you just on betting trends, Louisiana is the better of these 2 teams. I've seen both, and I've seen enough. I felt that way anyway. Betting trends confirmed it. Louisiana. The other game tonight, Tulsa travels to Memphis to take on the Tigers. This is a team I know quite well. They've had a couple very low-key weird things happen around the program, and I feel like the players are going to come out with their hair on fire, and the betting line tells me that. Tigers are a 7-point favorite. Not nearly enough. Take Memphis outright by a lot. Tonight in the NFL, Carolina Panthers, 2.5-point dog at home against the Atlanta Falcons. Over-under 41.5. What I want the most here, under. I won't be shocked if this doesn't beat 21.5. I'm taking Carolina.
Are you?
Don't ask me. Look, these two are much closer than the records insinuate. Atlanta is 6-3 against the spread. The Panthers are 3-6. When you watch them play, one of them does not look drastically better than the other. And I feel like in the rain, on the road, short week, lack of talent, I could keep going. I can't tell you Carolina's going to win, but I do think they cover the 2.5. Give me the Panthers plus 2.5, under 41.5.
And you could take your wagers to betus.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put into the account, up to $2,500. Promo code Sportsocracy at betus.com.
Somebody's been out there just raking. I get alerts on big wins.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, I don't know who you are, somebody had quite a large Saturday.
Take advantage of the free play dollars at betus.com, and you too could be raking it in like our anonymous gambling ace, whoever you are.
Whoever you are. Could be Colin. He's gifted 15 memberships to the House of Reprehensibles today.
There's more?
Just dog.
So I told you, the Christmas season is already upon us, and Saint Colin here is just giving away presents.
And we love it. We love it.
If you're not subscribed to the channel, go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Hit that subscription button. You can take advantage of the free ones.
Bingo.
Right.
Bingo.
It costs you nothing.
Well, for a month.
And then it's the
and then you get used to the Discord, because that's where you can talk to us like all day long, throw fantasy football questions at us. We answer them. I hope none of those came in today because I was in meetings all day. You could have been sending me SOS. I've locked myself in my car and water is beginning to pour in through the windshield, and I wouldn't have been any help today. But usually I would be great help.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up tomorrow, of course, it is a football Friday. We'll have all of your picks in the NFL. We'll play Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief David Zach. Brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zach of eXp Realty. Check her out at clarissasellswbnc.com.
I saw Chief Zach this morning, and I can tell you he's feeling awful feisty now that we're all tied up.
Is he?
He's feeling awful feisty. I feel a contrarian week coming on. Between what he said to me this morning, what I already know I'm going to do, and, well, Tank being rather predictable. It's worked.
Yeah, it has.
Just go with the public narrative, and we're good.
It's rather predictable, but yet the reigning winner from last week in Beat the Chief, despite having the worst pick of the week.
Unequivocally. I don't think – notice he hasn't celebrated that all week because he had the Panthers plus 7.5.
Mm-hmm. That didn't go my way. Jaguars, on the other hand?
Jets.
Winner. Jets.
You're the only one that had the Jets.
Yeah, I told you. Anyway, we'll pick all the games coming up tomorrow, your full previews of the college football slate, as well as all of the bangers. You want to get in good for Christmas? You want to build up that bankroll before you go to get all the goodies for the kids? That's a good way to do it. Follow the bangers each and every week. Next up here on ESPN Asheville, we'll have high school football, second round of the playoffs. Tuscola taking on East Lincolnton. John Roten and the crew be on the call next here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Your Estrogen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Flood watch and wind advisory up for Asheville as what's left of Nicole comes up to western North Carolina tonight and Friday. Could see some 1.5-inch downpours, the potential for some higher wind gusts here. 57 degrees our low for tonight. The wind's strongest early Friday morning. 1 inch of rain Friday, high 67, low 49, and we clear things out from Nicole for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and US 1923, exit 4A. 240 on the eastbound side slow between exit 2 and exit 4A. Future 26 eastbound delays between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 eastbound slow between Bavard Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 westbound stop and go between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Park.